She was once untouchable, the writer who turned a boy wizard into a billion-dollar empire. Her name inspired magic, imagination, and moral courage. But in the age of outrage, even the creator of Hogwarts found herself in a war she never expected. This is the story of J.K. Rowling, the woman who built a world of wonder, and then faced a real-world storm of judgment, loyalty, and loss. It began as most modern controversies do, with a tweet. In June 2020, Rowling commented on an article that used the phrase, "people who menstruate." She questioned why it didn't simply say women. It was a small tweet, but the impact was seismic. To some, she was defending language and biology. To others, she was denying identity and dignity. Within hours, her name was trending worldwide. The internet divided like glass, each side seeing a different villain. Rowling later explained her comments in a lengthy essay. She wrote that her stance came from personal experience, from empathy, from trauma, from her view of feminism. She said she loved all people, but believed clarity in language protected women's spaces. Her words, however, were no longer just words. They became a symbol. And symbols, once unleashed, cannot be controlled. The backlash was fierce. Activists accused her of spreading harmful ideas. Some fans declared her canceled. Publishers faced pressure to distance themselves. And then came the moment that broke hearts across fandoms. The stars who grew up in her cinematic universe, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, released their own statements. Radcliffe wrote that trans women are women. Emma Watson echoed the sentiment, adding that she stood with the trans community and wished them love and respect. Rupert Grint said he believed everyone should live in love and freedom. None of them named Rowling directly, it was not, but everyone understood what it meant. The young heroes she once created had taken a different path. Online, some called it betrayal, others called it bravery. And Rowling? She didn't fight back. She didn't lash out. She simply kept writing, though this time her words weren't for fiction. In essays and interviews, she clarified her beliefs again and again. She said she wasn't motivated by hate, but by concern. She said she feared for open debate and for women silenced for speaking about sex and biology. But nuance struggles to survive online. In the digital square, outrage travels faster than empathy, and for many, the nuance didn't matter anymore. Her social media was flooded with anger, even threats. Rowling later said she had received so many violent messages that security became a concern. She described the experience as surreal, a world where disagreement turned into danger. Still, she refused to hide. She returned to public life unapologetic and unshaken. She posted photos of her writing desk. She attended literary events, and she made it clear she would not be silenced. To her critics, that was arrogance. To her supporters, it was courage. Because beyond the noise was something deeper, a battle over freedom itself. Was Rowling defending her right to speak or using her platform irresponsibly? Was she a feminist hero or a cautionary tale of fame colliding with ideology? The world couldn't agree. As the debate raged, her legacy split in two. For millions, she was still the author who gave them comfort in childhood, but for others, she had become a symbol of resistance to progress. Even the Harry Potter brand felt the tremor. When HBO released the 20th anniversary reunion special, Rowling's absence became a headline. Producers said it was due to archival interviews and scheduling. But online, people whispered something else. Some believed she'd been quietly excluded. Others argued she had chosen to step back. Whatever the truth, her absence spoke volumes. The woman who created the magic was now the ghost haunting it. And yet, despite the fury, her success didn't vanish. Her Robert Galbraith novels continued to sell. Her name stayed on bestseller lists, and bookshops that announced boycotts quietly kept her titles in stock. That contradiction fascinated commentators. One journalist wrote, "You can cancel a person online, but not in print." Indeed, Rowling's influence didn't disappear, it transformed. She became a rallying point for people who felt silenced by modern discourse. Writers, politicians, and feminists publicly defended her right to speak, even when they didn't agree with her. Meanwhile, her critics kept questioning her motives. They cited old interviews, tweets, and even her fiction, arguing she used her platform to provoke. Supporters countered that she was simply refusing to be bullied. In 2023, Rowling made headlines again, this time for joking about being canceled. She posted that her royalties were doing just fine. Her confidence reignited the debate all over again. Was she mocking the culture that tried to erase her, or reminding the world that she was still in control of her own story? The internet couldn't decide. Memes, threads, and think pieces flooded social media. Podcasts dissected every word. Documentaries debated whether she was a fallen idol or an unfiltered realist. Even within the Harry Potter fandom, civil wars erupted. Some fans insisted the books now belonged to the readers, not the author. Others said you couldn't separate the art from the artist. For Rowling herself, none of it seemed to matter anymore. She once said in an interview, "I've been canceled by people who still buy my books." It was both sharp and true. A reminder that outrage doesn't always equal rejection. Still, the shadow of the storm lingers. For every voice that praises her courage, another condemns her stance. Her story has become a reflection of something larger, a culture struggling to define compassion, truth, and freedom in a single sentence. And maybe that's why her name won't fade, because Rowling's journey isn't just about fame or controversy, it's about what happens when words collide with power. In her books, she taught that standing up to darkness requires bravery. In real life, she's living that lesson, though the darkness now comes not from a villain, but from the noise of a divided world. Whether you see her as a rebel or a relic, one thing is undeniable. She changed how we tell stories and how we fight over them. And perhaps that's her true legacy. Not the spells, not the castles, but the courage to speak when silence would be safer. Because in the end, J.K. Rowling didn't just write about magic, she wrote about humanity, flawed, fiery, and unafraid. And as the world argues, one truth remains. She will not vanish. Her words will keep echoing, whether whispered in love or shouted in anger. The woman who gave the world imagination is now fighting for her own. And that, whether you admire or condemn her, is a story still being written. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories, where fame meets fire and where every word can change everything.